Hey everyone, this is going to be my video on 5 tips to help beginner guitar players when they're first starting out. So tip number 1 is when you're first starting to learn, practice very little but very often. So that means learning to play something simple but you play it maybe 5 times over and then you stop and you go and do something else. Now the best way to do this is to learn to play something simple when you first start alongside something else, another hobby. So that could be in the garden, cooking in the kitchen, it could be playing video games like I did when I was younger, it could be watching TV like that during the ad breaks. So you have to play very often but in short stints. So you play the same thing you're learning maybe 5 times over the course of 2 minutes, let's say. And then you have a 20-minute break doing the other thing that you're spending your time doing. And then you come back to it. 20 minutes later you do it again. So during TV, for example, you do it in the ad breaks if you're watching a show. Or you pause it every half an hour and just give yourself a little practice session. So I'm just going to show you what I mean. So now I have my guitar. You go through whatever it is you're learning at the time. Could be chords, could be scale, could be a riff, whatever. And you just play it for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if you're making mistakes, obviously you just keep practicing for those 2 minutes. Then you stop. Put the guitar down. Come back to it again in however long, in between whatever it is you're doing. If you're cooking, you go and start cooking something, and then maybe in between you can pick up the guitar for 2 minutes or whatever. So that's the first tip, is to play very little, but very, very often. So short little bursts, and trust me, you'll find it less frustrating and you'll get better a lot quicker. So before I get to the second tip, I just wanted to say thank you for watching the video. Please can you subscribe and like, and give me any feedback or any ideas for other videos in the comment section, and I'll read them and get back to you. So thank you for watching. So tip number 2 ties in very well with tip number 1, which is to play little and often. The second one is to play multiple things at the same time. So that could be chords, it could be a song, it could be a scale. But you have to learn different things at the same time. If you do this, you'll be strengthening your hands a lot quicker, because if you're trying to learn chords, for example, but your fingers aren't quite there yet, doing something dexterous with them like a song or a scale might help you strengthen them faster. Therefore, you'll adapt quicker and your fingers will be stronger sooner to help you play everything. So, strong fingers is important. I might also add not to play too many different things at the same time, because you cannot overwhelm yourself. And this doesn't really help in the long run. If you're learning too many things, your brain won't really focus on those necessary ones that you want to learn, and you can get frustrated and then give up, which is not what you want. So tip number 3 is a very important one for everybody, and that is to learn to play something that you enjoy, that you love. If you're learning songs and that's what you want to do, then you learn songs and you learn ones that you really love, because you'll be so much more motivated and inspired to do it. If you do this, then you're more likely to keep picking up your guitar and progress even quicker. So if you're somebody who's studying guitar and you're learning music theory and everything, then you should also learn something fun alongside it. Now that could be songs that you like that go along with certain scales or chords you're learning. If you do this, then you'll improve exponentially. In keeping with that, the way that I learned was by playing video games at the same time when I was a teenager. I found music that I loved and I wanted to play it, so I would play video games with my friends after school or after college, whatever it was, and I would play online for 10 minutes with my friends. Then I would stop, mute the microphone, and I would play whatever it was I was learning for that 1.5-minute intermission between, and my friends would all be there, but I'd be muted. So if you can do that, if you can play small bursts in between doing something else, something which switches your brain to, even if you're just watching TV, like in the ad breaks, just mute the TV and play guitar. It will help you progress. I can't even explain how much quicker it will help. Okay, so tip number 4 is for once you've progressed a little bit, once you already have the simple chords down and you've got a few songs under your belt, is then learn to play things that challenge you. So go for those hard songs where it sounds like you're never going to be able to play. At least try. An example of that for me would be Time in a Bottle. So quite a hard riff to play, but you just have to keep striving for being better, and the more you challenge yourself with slightly more difficult things, and you keep up that playing little and often, even if you can't do them to begin with, say that stretch at the beginning is too hard. Well, so if you're first starting and you're learning chords and stuff, obviously that makes sense, but once you get past that first layer of learning, once you've done your chords and got your basic principles in place, then start to think of things or look for things that challenge you. So it could be a slightly different scale, or a mode, or a song with a challenging riff in it that starts simple. It doesn't have to be an amazing solo to begin with, but at least something that challenges you, because it's different for everybody. Some people progress a lot quicker than others. You do what's right for you. If you have any questions about that, I'm happy to reply in the comments. So when I was first learning, I'd already learnt your simple Wonderwall, like everybody does. I think I'd learned Sunshine of Your Love by Clapton, and a couple of other little riffs, the blues scale and some chords. And the first song that I picked up to play was Why Georgia by John Mayer. Which is a fun riff to play. It's quite complicated when you're first starting out. I think when I first used to play it, I used to play it something like this. But a lot more messy, not as clean. So a recommendation that I have would be to take something complicated when you're learning it and you simplify it. So I knew at the beginning I wasn't going to be able to play the proper riff. So I did it with 2 fingers instead of all of them, and took out the percussive slaps and just focused on where my hands had to be. And you get the basic principle of it, and then you build on that later on. So take something complicated, simplify it if you need to, or at least a little bit, and work on it. And in no time you'll be able to play the whole song. So, final tip number 5, would be to learn on acoustic guitar first, if you can. It can be classical. I mean, it depends on your financial situation or what's available to you. Some people can't just go out and buy multiple guitars, of course. But I would stress that acoustic guitar first is the best way to learn, because every guitar player should be able to play acoustic and electric. And classical, different styles are a bit different, but it will strengthen your hands more than anything else. Don't need to play on acoustic because it's just that bit tougher on your fingers. And learning on the different instruments, it will give you more of a varied or more versatility basically to your playing. You'll be able to play on both, then you can be in bands more. So if a band wants a guitar player and you can only play on acoustic, what happens when they want to play songs with electric guitars? You know. If you really want to play guitar and you want to play guitar for your whole life, then it's important to try to learn to love the instrument and to want to learn all of it, you know? So I would recommend learning on both electric and acoustic. I don't really have a favourite. I think they're both very different. I'll show you some electric in another video. But acoustic guitar will strengthen your hands a lot more. Okay, so bonus tip if you got to the end of the video, thank you very much for watching and making it this far, is not only to play on both electric and acoustic guitar, but it's to also play with your fingers and with a guitar pick. That's always the danger with a guitar pick, is that you will drop. So it's to play with your hands and with a guitar pick, because again, like with the 2 different guitars, if you ever want to go into a band, you need to be able to be versatile in your playing. And it will also help you with learning different songs. There are some songs that have both finger picking and using a pick in them. Some songs that only have one or the other, and you'll just limit yourself if you only learn one. So I can't stress enough, again, using your fingers and a guitar pick. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of the video for watching it this far. I hope you found those tips helpful, and I would recommend using all of them together in conjunction in order to help your guitar playing progress exponentially and to help you when you're first starting. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any comments or feedback or videos that you want to see me do, then please post them in the comments and I'll reply and read them all and get back to you. Thank you.